What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Now, I'm not at Kevin's and I'm not at my dad's. I'm actually at my house. So for the past couple of months, I have been working on the house. I purchased a house. I also purchased a new car, 2 new cars. I will show them here in a few moments. That's a lie. I can only show you one of them because the other one isn't here at the moment. But I have just finished washing the exterior of my 2006 BMW Z4 2.5i. Now I picked this car back up in, I think it was either like October or November of last year for a good deal. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it at the time, so I just kind of picked it up, and I've just been driving it to random things like haircuts or to get groceries or just around, just to keep the motor healthy and moving. Now the purpose of me introducing this vehicle to the channel is, I think the direction I'm going to go with this is it's going to be kind of like a trade-up challenge, or like a what's the word I'm looking for, or like a flip challenge type thing. Not really a challenge, but a goal. I have a goal in mind to flip cars until I have roughly about $20,000 saved up, and then once I hit that goal, I will then buy a special car. I'm kind of in between a few, but I mean, I have plenty of time between now and when I reach that goal, because we're starting at $0, and then whatever money we make off of this car, that will kind of snowball into, you know, other vehicles that I buy or trade for, or things like that. So with the exterior fully washed, the next thing I need to tackle is detailing the interior, because as you can see, it is quite dirty. I also have new cup holders for this thing. And yeah, so I don't have my normal camera and tripod setup. I'm just working with my phone for the moment, but I am going to detail this thing and then I'll show you guys the after. Here is the after result. Much better, not perfect, but it is much better than it was before. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what this vehicle needs. For starters, I need some new floor mats. The one on the driver's side is pretty bad. Next thing, I need the clips for this piece of trim. I found the trim in the trunk, so I just need the clips for that. I have that piece of trim there, because that one, I don't know what happened to it. I said that I was finished, but I have to deal with that. Whoever puts these on and then leaves them like that, you're awful. The next thing I need to do is install the new cup holders. I have those. Then I have new side marker lights, because these ones, as you can see, I pulled it out, but it's not looking the best. We also need to get new headlights, and that's about it. And by that's about it, I mean, I have to figure out why the top isn't working. I think it's because there isn't a micro switch in the back. It'll go down manually, it just is not going down automatically at the moment. So I'm going to work on installing those cup holders, and then I will buy the rest of the parts that are needed. This is going to be a continuous video. I'm not going to keep cutting it up into different parts. So the next time you see this vehicle, it will be ready to post on Marketplace. All right, guys, so I know I said that I was going to be showing you those parts installed and posting it and everything, but I had installed those, and then I saw something on Marketplace that I wanted to buy, so I went and I posted it without fixing the convertible top going down automatically. I just posted it for a little bit cheaper than what I originally wanted, because I saw something else on Marketplace. And like everything, by the time I had sold my vehicle and gotten the money and everything, that other vehicle had sold. So I had money, but I had no vehicle to make content on. So that brings us to this vehicle. I purchased this vehicle with a portion of the money that I got from the other vehicle, because I had some unforeseen things happen that I needed to pay for. If you want to know, I'll get into it in a different video, but you just gotta let me know. This is a 2013 Genesis Coupe 2.0T with the 5-speed. This is the base model, not the track model. It does have some goodies. Unknown upgraded intercooler, intake, blow-off valve. Because there's an issue with the engine, I'm going to insert a clip here. need to do a little bit of diagnosing because it doesn't sound like it's coming from down low. It doesn't sound like rod knock or bearing failure or something like that. It honestly sounds like either something going on with the timing chain or something going on with the head. So the first thing that'll be doing is pulling the coil packs, pulling the spark plugs, and doing a compression test, and that'll give me a rough idea of whether it's top end or bottom end. Something else is it seems like the timing belt cover or timing chain cover has been painted. I don't think it comes this way factory because the rest of the block is not that color. So this engine might have come out once before. Somebody let me know in the comments if it's common for it to be, you know, this color. Another thing is down on the crank bolt. Like it looks like it's been pulled off. I don't know if maybe the pulley's been changed out or what, but it definitely looks like someone's been down there. And I still don't have a tripod for my iPhone, so I'm just going to pull these and then start doing the compression test at that point. Alrighty guys, so this is on a cold engine and we have like 140 PSI on, I think it's cylinder 4. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to look up which is it, but I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's how it goes. Or it might be 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, so we're gonna release the pressure and remove the hose and then put it in this one, and I will show you guys all of the readings once it is done. Again, I wish I could show you how it's done, but the main things to know is pull your ignition coils or disconnect them, pull them, 4 10mm bolts, 1 for each coil. Then get a spark plug tool and pull your spark plugs, and look at these spark plugs. They are pretty bad. And I just learned that this brown means that compression is getting by the spark plugs. So I think that means that they're not tight enough in there. And then you also want to pull your fuel pump relay or your fuel pump fuse, depending on what your car has. So that way, as you're cranking the engine over, it's not trying to dump fuel into the cylinder and then you don't have fuel shooting out the top. All right, so I have good news and I have bad news. So the good news is, starting from back to front, my compression is 155, 140, 140, 140. Factory spec, they should be between 164 and 180 when the motor is warm. When the motor is cold, you're going to lose roughly about 15 psi, I think it said. So if you have 15 psi on top of my numbers, they're good. I am going to double check once the engine is warm, but before I do that, I will be doing an oil change and I will be cutting the oil filter open to kind of see, you know, what's going on in there. Is I'm going to be getting new spark plugs and I'm going to put those in, and I'm going to run it and see what it sounds like. That doesn't look ideal, that scoring there, but there's no play in the shaft. There's slight play up and down, but front to back there's no play, and it spins freely, like it's not bound up or anything. So the turbo seems to be in good shape. I have to double check if a little bit of play front and back is okay. Alrighty guys, so I've done a little bit of work off of camera here, and I've taken off the valve cover. I've also bore scoped all of the cylinder heads. One of them looks like, I can't really tell, all of them have a lot of carbon, so I got to run some stuff through it to kind of clear up all the carbon, and then I can determine really what the state of everything is. But all of these cam lobes look really good. I've just been turning the engine over to kind of get a better idea, but I don't see any sort of damage. The only damage I really see is the fact that, like, you know, this oil in here is super dark and it's needing an oil change for a long time. But what I'm thinking of doing is putting in some like the Marvel's Mystery Oil, since I haven't fully topped off the oil, running it, draining it, putting in new oil, and just kind of flushing it a few times to kind of clear out those cylinder heads, and hopefully that'll help out the process. Also, I know that it's not like a, you can't really tell if it's timing chain slap, but there is an excessive like playing it so it's not super loose. Obviously taking off the front cover would give me a better idea, but I've also kind of jerked the crank back and forth, and I don't hear any slapping on the bottom end, so it sounds like the bottom bearings are okay. At least there isn't super excessive slap. So I'm going to put the new valve cover gasket on, button this all back up, put the spark plugs in, put the intake all back together, and then fire it up and take it for a drive, see what happens. So bad news with the Genesis. I thought that by switching out the spark plugs, changing the oil, that maybe the tick would go away. I did borescope the engine, and on cylinder 2, it looked like one of the valves has kissed the piston. There's some damage around the edge of the valve, which none of it really makes sense because the top of the piston looks fine, and my compression numbers are spot on. I mean, granted, slightly low on like the lower end of what they should be from factory, but they're not like 100 or like 75. Like they're really solid. So my next steps are going to be pulling the head off of the block and examining it better and seeing kind of what's going on. I would start it up and show you guys the sound, but I'm currently draining the oil as I am going to start diving into this today. But you guys will have to wait until next episode to see that, because I feel like this is kind of like a good stopping point. We did some good work to it. I introduced the car, kind of explained what's going on. This is still part of the flip challenge. Ultimately, my goal is either to have a, I'll save that for another video. I'll explain what the goal is, but the goal is to have something really nice and really special. I hope you guys will stick around through the journey. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode where we are going to be tearing down this engine and I will be explaining how to do that.